All right. Welcome back to the Michael and Ellis show with Abby as a special guest. The second time you've been on the show.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you for
Um
having me.
yeah, I don't know. Are we going to call this like the 10th episode or the
I'd
11th
say this is like
episode?
the official 10th episode, I
I
guess.
I called the last one
Part
the 10th.
two.
Would this be like 10.5, 11? I don't know.
We'll think.
I
5.
guess we'll figure
Part
that out in
2.
post, maybe. Or part
Continued.
two. Yeah, that could be it. Um, but yeah, no, me and Michael did a like initial reaction that we uploaded, I think like night of basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And now
You
we're
were on it.
here Monday before episode 11. Um,
Yeah, down to the wire, 8 people left.
yeah,
So
getting down there. Abby, what have your thoughts since we've last spoke? Like, how are you feeling about the season and the episode?
Well, starting with just the episode,
Mhm.
not shocked Gabe went home.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
had it, but how does
I
it
know I wasn't really rooting for him, but like it's fine. Um, I mean, I know it kind of came down to Genevieve versus Gabe, but even like at the very first clip of the previously on was Gabe doing his little dance. And I was like, okay, I feel like we're opening with this. That seems like a good indicator that he's probably gonna go home. And so I wasn't that sad, but
I don't think
not
I'm
getting any more
Can I
points.
That reminded me,
maybe
I'll
I
just
saw that too.
a little fun fact too. That dance was of a NFL player, Ray Lewis, who also has a bit of a checkered past, to say, just to keep it brief, like with all the Gabe Twitter drama and like how people, and on screen some of the stuff he said, like why people some like might not root for him. I think it was like, of course, out of all the dance celebrations he's gonna do a Ray Lewis. Oh, Michael's making a face. Did I freeze?
Right now.
Okay. Anyways, I forgot to mention that. But yeah. Sorry, not to sidetrack you, Abby.
I of course Gabe's fucking star player is an awful person.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was another right before the tribal happened. There was like it was like Genevieve being like, "Oh well, if I go home, this is gonna happen," and then like cut to Gabe being like, "Well, if I go home, this is gonna happen," and Genevieve said like, "Then if she stays another day, the game will be wide open." Versus Gabe said, "I think I got this," or something like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's very telling about just like them as like a person and like how they would continue to play the game. So I mean, I don't really love Genevieve either. Sorry, Michael. I know you love her,
Whoa!
She's
but
the
I'm
best.
but I'm was rooting for her to stay over Gabe.
Mm. That is true. I remember that final confessional. I like turned to Michael and I was like, "Man, they're really like honing in on the like Gabe overconfidence." But like we've seen that the whole season. Like he was talking
Yeah.
about how like who was it? Kyle was going to be his like personal driver that he'll hire after he wins the $1 million or something.
Yeah.
Also,
His
him just
whole
constantly being like, "I'll be back. Don't worry."
Oh
Like, no, you
yeah.
won't be. I was
Jeff
cringing so hard because like no
like,
one
girl, you
likes
got
him that
9,
much. Like,
but no one cares.
Jeff said earlier
no.
that this week that like they don't want to bring back players for 50. They don't want to bring back anyone with vendettas or like something to prove, like a I'll be back. They wanted to bring back people that are, they're kind of more on the fun, more positive, more like for they're like I'm doing it for myself, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Which
boo.
I
not
prefer. I like that way more.
Nah, I
not
like
looking good for,
vendettas.
yeah, Gabe's returnee possibility.
Because then all
I
the
don't like
Roans and the Gabes will come out, and I'm just like, I can't handle that.
Overall though,
if only Roman and Gabe were on the same tribe. That would have been such an interesting
Only.
I mean, Abby, you did mention before, right before we started recording, you've started rewatching some of the episodes with your sister, and like
Mhm.
overall, like have you been enjoying this season compared to like last season at least?
Well, to clarify, we're on like 30 minutes into the first episode.
Oh, okay.
So we have not watched too much.
Okay.
But it is fun going back, seeing like everyone who's already go home. I mean, it's not fun, I guess. It's like kind of sad seeing them like
seeing their hopes and dreams
Their
crushed one
hopes.
by one.
seeing like it is funny seeing Rome being like, I'm gonna win it. And it's like,
aw,
No,
he
you're
doesn't
not.
know.
but I feel like the like Survivor expert in my house, because like my mom started watching, so she was asking questions, and I was like, well, shot in the darks. Because like that was a big thing this episode.
Mhm.
So but
Yeah,
overall
they gave
I'm
up
enjoying
all their
it.
shots in the darks. What were your would you have done that trade, do you think, Abby?
No, I thought that was so stupid. I mean, I don't know if you guys talked about this,
Mhm.
but whenever they're like, okay, whenever Jeff is like, okay, sit out 4 people or whatever,
Mhm.
there are people in there who know they're not gonna win the challenge. Like Caroline, you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that like you knew like you haven't. I mean, I guess that's like. Of course, Caroline could win, but like she hasn't won a single one yet. So I was just like using her as an example. No shade to her if she's watching. But like there are people who like always are like, I'm not gonna sit out. Like I'm gonna stand my ground, but then like get out right away. And we see that so many times in those challenges. I'm like, why don't you just sit out? So then you didn't have to give up your shot in the dark, and you could have kept your rice.
The only like devil's advocate, I guess I could say, I could propose is that sorry, I was gonna fiddle with something as I spoke, but I guess I don't have anything to fiddle with. So yeah, Brain, you really gotta focus on talking now. No, I think the latest you can play your shot in the dark is final 7. Like I think once you hit the finale, you lose your shot in the dark.
Okay.
So like we're at the final 9. There's not that many more chances to use it. So I think some people were saying like, screw it, like. And it's also like Caroline was the first one to propose it. Kyle was the one to like up the ante. He might have been thinking like, it's only 2 more. Like if I win immunity, then I don't know. We'll see if it works out for him.
True. I didn't know that was only like until the top 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess also like there's like a 1 in 6 chance that you're safe, 1 in 8 chance.
1 in 6.
I don't know 1 in 6. So I don't know. I guess I can see both sides. I just personally would have been like, guys, let's just like sit out. Like Kyle's probably gonna win. Like let's just sit out and get our rice.
I think also it's difficult because there is like this notion, I think, that if you sit out, you're like giving up. And I think also like there's also this like notion where if you are like, oh, I'll sit out, it might make people think like, oh, they feel real safe, like, and it might be playing, because I feel like everyone's like main goal is to try and look like they're like the underdog when like they're not. Like no one wants to look like the most powerful person in the game, because you'll go home. So I feel like all of them are just like, no, but like maybe I'll go, and it's like you're not going anywhere. Like,
I mean, take the game out of it too. Like you're on Survivor, like you don't know if you're ever gonna get another chance. Like you don't know how much longer you're gonna be in the game, and it's like this might be the last chance I get to like compete for immunity, and it's like I don't want to just say no, I'm okay. Like I want to compete, even if I don't think I have a chance of winning.
That's true. I guess you guys are like swaying my thoughts.
No, I would totally sit out though. I feel like whatever,
Right?
who cares? Like I'm tired. If I've gone that long without like food or like proper shelter or sleeping, I'd be like, Jeff, I'm good. Like
if Jeff pulled out the knife and like stabbed the rice bag again, I would have been like, guys, stop. cut the crap, I'll sit out.
Yeah, like literally. I'll sit out the next 4 challenges if I have to. Just give me my fucking food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me go to the Survivor Fantasy. Is it this okay, I didn't make a mistake this time. Let's go. Michael is
Huzzah.
still in first. Christina has hopped into second place and is tied with Sean. Usually I have the. Oh wait, I do have the points. Okay, I'll copy them real quick and send them to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Discord, and then. So yeah, so Sean and Christina are tied in second and third, and Connor has jumped up and tied you, Abby.
Oh my gosh.
No way.
Nina is slowly dropping as she has no players left. I have actually hopped into seventh place. I have leapfrogged over Gianna and Emily. I'm now on the left side of the board. Gianna's left side was short lived. Here, okay, I sent the scores there. And Molly also hopped over Brielle, so Brielle has dropped all the way to what? 11th place. Yeah,
man,
rough.
tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. I mean, Abby, you did lose Gabe, which is a tough hit. You still have Sue though, and
Well, that's you.
your winner pick is also Sam, which who knows may or may not happen. how are you feeling like how well, I don't want to tip off like what I may think of Sam's like winner potential yet. I want to get your like unbiased opinion before like we say anything. Like, how are you feeling about Sam as your winner pick?
I'm feeling okay. I think he has the potential to make top 3, but I don't know if he'll win.
Okay.
Right now, my top 3, or the top 3 that I would like, would probably be Sam, Rachel, and Teeny. I think.
Like you're the top 3 most likely to win, or just like your most favorite final 3?
Most likely to win, but that's also mixed with my favorites.
Okay.
Because since Sierra went home, Sam has really been growing on me, and I think has been able to explore actually playing the game more, and is also still looking to get some revenge. So loving this arc for him. So I don't think his like odds are awful, but I could maybe see him top 3. Would love for him to win. Obviously, I'd get those points, but
yeah, no, I agree with that. I my feelings about Sam is I think he's getting second place. Based on just trying to like predict what the editors are trying to show.
Yeah.
But I also think like if he was sitting next to the right people, he probably could win, but I just don't know if he will be sitting next to the right people if he does make it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Michael, I know you have not been the biggest fan of Sam so far.
I am not. I don't really care for him. He's like fine. He's like not the worst, but I'm definitely not like a Sam lover. I don't know. It like I just couldn't help but think like Man Baby when he was throwing his little like tantrum over like Sierra going home. It's like, oh no, one vote didn't go your way. Who could have seen this coming? Like,
to be fair, it was like his closest ally.
Yeah, but like that's on you, girl. I'd work on that. Like,
I also didn't love when like Rachel was like, oh, I think it's gonna be like Saul, don't say anything, and then Sam immediately said something and like blew it up. I was like, Sam, like I'm here for the drama, but like wasn't your best move to like in terms of allyship with Rachel?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and
so
honestly,
I don't know. Also, we talked about this, but I just want to throw it out there. Saul's little entrance.
Oh my gosh! Right? Jaw drop.
Icon.
Smoke show. Oh my god! I was
literally. Sorry, I had to throw that in there quickly.
No, that was well warranted.
Like it was great. It was like honestly the most iconic entrance. And I remember like when Ellis and I were watching it, like Sierra came in first, and Ellis was like, "Oh my god, like Sierra's wearing a really pretty dress," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up, Ellis! Look behind Sierra. There's
Not
Soul." And like this insane like Mortal Kombat like fit like enter
I
the
think-
club.
Sierra also looked amazing.
I think they both
and then
like
Saul looked great.
yeah. No, I could
And
totally
then
see them.
now I'm just like, what's Gabe gonna look like? Like I don't think it's gonna work.
That's
For next
actually
week. I'm like,
sorry.
no, that was it. That was my only thought for that.
Yeah. Well, okay. All I was gonna say was Gabe going home has made it 1 yellow, 1 red, 1 blue for the first like 3 jury boots, which I think is pretty sick. Also because this season started with 1 yellow, 1 blue, 1 red. It's like been very even. And especially with the winner at it too, like people are like, this is a very even like level playing fields. It's been very interesting. I also could totally see like Sierra and Soul like coordinating, like we're going all out tonight, like wearing our like we gotta like shock the contestants.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gabe, who knows?
Well,
Gabe's probably gonna pull up in like a football jersey or something. I'm
Oh
calling
my
it
God.
now.
Probably.
Flop.
But
Ugh.
I know you said you see Sam as like your number 2. Who do you see as like your winner pick?
Yeah, I don't know. Like Sam is my number 2 as like I think he's getting second. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry,
Right.
that's what I meant.
No, yeah. I just want to clarify. I mean, Teeny has to be staying at like number 1 for right now. That's who I'm hoping for, because I just think it would make the most entertaining like seasonal story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think Rachel has a really good shot, and it's bad news for my fantasy team because Christina has Rachel and Teeny, so I think Christina's winning the fantasy league. I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think Andy has a good chance. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it, but I think Andy's got a good shot.
It is sad. I think yeah. No, I can only see 4 out of the 8 like winning this season. And none of those are my characters, sadly. So I know. Very tragic. I don't know why Genevieve did that soul move. It kind of like completely ruined her entire game. And I don't know how she's gonna come back from it. But like good luck, Queen. I believe in you still.
And if she makes it, she's winning.
Yeah, which is why I don't think she's gonna make it.
Going back to
Sorry, you go.
No, finish your thought, because I was gonna say something about Andy.
I was just gonna say, I don't know why like Genevieve's like main goal is to just like kind of like fuck people over, it seems. Like with Keyshawn, and now like Keyshawn was like fine because it was like there were 5 people, like Keyshawn was purposely trying to be messy, like okay, but like the soul thing just came out of like such left field that it was just like weird and confusing and like didn't make sense. So I don't know if it's like the hunger or like something that
he's getting angry.
Like maybe Soul burped 1 too many burps for her, and she was like, "I'm over this."
I think the like rationale of the move was like, there's still 4 Tukus in the game. If I get out Soul now, I'm basically like forcing everyone to get out a Tuku next, and then after that, like the red, like everyone from original Red Tribe isn't as threatening because it's only going to be me and Teeny, and maybe then all the attention will be on Yellow. I think it was I think what went wrong is she probably wasn't like I think the fallout was just a lot bigger than she expected.
Yeah.
And it might really come to bite her in the ass, but
And I mean,
we'll see.
Andy's blown up her whole game. So
That
Andy is
too.
like determined to make Genevieve look like a very like which she is, but like he is determined.
Mm-hmm.
So, I dislike Andy. Hoping this like does not go well for him. But like I feel like with the trajectory we're on, it might.
Yeah, I just don't know because I've noticed like every week we get like some sort of like segment of Andy being like, I'm weaving all these webs and like I'm such a lethal player. And I'm like, I haven't really like noticed him being a lethal player other than just like talking to everyone, being like, I'm here
He's
for
a silent
you.
assassin.
I mean,
Yeah, so
he
I'm like,
was
I don't know.
he was on that hammock, and people are just like coming up to him, being like giving, like basically just like telling him their plans. Um, and it seems like he is kind of talking to everyone, and no one's like throwing out his name. Which maybe is like about to change, but
Yeah, I just don't know, like I can't tell who he's like wants to team up with. I mean, maybe I just
mhm.
missed something, but like I can't really tell who he's like actually leaning towards because then one second he'll like turn his back on them and he'll be like,
Really.
oh, me and my web. And I'm like what?
It's just me and my web right now,
It's just him
chilling.
and his web. But now he's a part of like the Underdogs group. So like I'm curious to see what happens with
Which
that.
I actually have a question for you guys about
Mhm.
that. So I remember last season,
Mhm.
there was I think the editors try not to show like um alliances that make it like really far. Um and my thing is like last season when they were doing the whole final tribal and stuff, Charlie revealed
Mhm.
that like him, Kenzie, Liz, and like Ben were actually like this 4-person alliance that like was never shown
Right.
really at
Yeah.
all. And so I'm kind of thinking like, do you guys think this underdog alliance will go anywhere? Because we're being shown it. It's on the next time on. And so I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like them
Mm.
showing it means it's doomed to fail because it's like anytime there's like a majority alliance that is shown, like it just never works out because then I think it gets too predictable. But I don't know. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about like how every season there's always like the women being like female alliance,
Yeah.
like let's
Mhm.
take down the men, and then they just
Yeah.
like vote out a guy, or no, sorry, they just vote out like a woman, and I'm like, well, that didn't last.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. At first, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. This could mean either Sam, Kyle, or Genevieve could be going home.
Mhm.
But after thinking about it more and then thinking about what you just said, I feel like it'll maybe be like one episode, and then they'll be like, we got to get one of these guys out or something.
One of these
So,
underdogs are not actual underdogs. We gotta
yeah,
get
I
it.
don't think it'll actually last super long. I think there's some good alliances within that group, but I think
Mhm.
as a whole, 5 people's kind of a lot. So,
I agree. I think that's a good question, Michael. Like I didn't, we always talk about like the next time on has how like any name mentioned is like just a red herring and they're not going to go home. But like the alliance being mentioned, is that a red herring and like they're not actually going to work together? Like that I kind of it's a hot take, and I'm ready to like hop on board with it. And I mean, this is kind of probably a good way to segue into like our predictions for who we think are going to go home, or who is going to go home this week. Um, I yeah, maybe the Underdog Alliance won't like end up voting together. Um, and if so, I think within that alliance, I do, maybe I'm just like hoping this for Teeny, but like they showed like Teeny and Andy like talking together, which I feel like could be a very strong duo like down this and like final stretch of the game. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. I feel like this could be Caroline's week for going home.
Ooh, interesting.
Well,
I would much rather it be Rachel, but I think it's gonna be Caroline.
interesting. I had just like while you were speaking, like a
Mhm.
vision in my head of like earlier in the season, Andy like breakdown and like the underdogs group being like Andy being like, guys, let's be the underdogs. Like, it's so silly. And then they're all like voting Andy out, but it's just like they made it up.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh
It's
my
a pity
So I,
wow,
so I did just have a vision of that happening. So it
that
could
is a
be Andy.
crazy theory. That would be
Just that like I don't really think a lot of them are underdogs. I mean, there's just like Sam, Kyle, and Genevieve who are like powerhouses and really made themselves known in like different ways, I guess. And then it's just like the rest of them. So I feel like it could just be something like silly that like Andy did or something. I don't know. So I have no idea who I think could be going home. I mean, looking at the preview, they didn't show a ton of like Kyle, Genevieve, or Sam.
Oh yeah, they were like gone.
I don't think they showed them
That is
at
true.
all.
But they did show the Underdogs Alliance a lot, which would be implying that one of those three would go home.
That's true. Oh my gosh, I have no clue. I thought I knew going into this. I thought I was like, I think it could be Genevieve just after everything, or Kyle if he doesn't win the next immunity.
Yeah.
But now I'm like second guessing everything.
Just for the listeners, the Underdog Alliance that was previewed in the next time on consists of Sue, Teeny, Andy, Caroline, and Rachel, leaving out Genevieve, Kyle, and Sam. So yeah, Michael, do you have any? What are your initial thoughts with predictions?
It's definitely difficult. I think like we're getting down to the wire, and I think you have two idols that no one knows about still in play.
Good
So
point.
it's really difficult to predict, especially now that's getting farther down. But I will say that I am first interested in how Sue reacts to what Caroline did, because that's
a good point.
A big betrayal, especially to Sue. And I feel like Sue is definitely one of those people where like they make it a specific point to show Sue congratulating Kyle every time he wins immunity, which I find so interesting. Because it's literally they always pan over right to Sue right when Kyle wins, going, "Congrats, Kyle." Like, so she's definitely not she definitely wears her heart on her sleeve, but like in a way where she will just like if she dislikes you, she'll be fine blatantly lying to you and then like voting you out in a second.
Right.
So I really do think that I am interested to see what Caroline tells Sue, but I might agree with you, Ellis. I could see Caroline going home.
Wow. Okay.
Just because
I need to change my prediction now.
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. Continue. Yeah.
Just because I feel like if Kyle doesn't win immunity, I think it's gonna be Kyle. I think there's no way that he can like stay. I think his like social relationships are kind of like way too weak, and I think he's kind of in the worst position besides Genevieve. Like I think Sam is like okay. I would definitely say the people in the Underdog Alliance are the ones that are in the best position in the game. Like, but like, yeah, Kyle and Genevieve are definitely like way on the outs. And honestly, with 4 immunity wins, like, I don't know. I feel like if he loses at this point, you can't like not vote for him. like it's not even that like because for me, I was thinking about it. I was like, it's not even the idea that like oh, he'll make it to the finale through like winning immunities. Like, I'm just thinking like, oh, if I was there, I'd be like, fuck him, I want to win immunities, and he keeps beating me, and it's making me upset, and maybe if I vote him, I can win immunities, and then I can look really cool and be safe. So I definitely think like it's going to be kind of I'm gonna say Kyle. I think it's gonna be Kyle.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did just remember from the next time on that Sam was like, I think Rachel's got something up her sleeve. So like maybe that could be an indication that like people start to find out about Rachel's idol.
Right.
And then like that could get messy.
No,
but I don't know. I don't want Rachel to go home, so I'm not gonna put that out there.
That's a good point to bring up though, because I remember when we were watching, Rachel's name started to come up in the preview, and I was like, oh, she's gonna be safe. And as Michael was talking too, I was thinking about it, like, and I think it was the specialist too mentioned on their podcast, like, if any word Rachel, or maybe it's the know-it-alls, I can't remember. If any word gets back to Rachel that her name is out there, like, she's probably playing her idol, and I feel like we've seen stuff with her shot in the dark play, and like whether or not she's going to use her idol or not. We've seen stuff about her idol, and we've seen her in a good light. That maybe I was thinking the target within the Underdog Alliance isn't Caroline, but it actually could be Rachel. But maybe there's an idol play coming up this week, which would be detriment. I mean, if Rachel gets an idol play and gets all those points, rip to my fantasy team. It's not happening. Christina is crowned the best teeny team after that. But I wonder if that's the case, who would Rachel target? So I'm making my final prediction. I'm making some big predictions. Okay, you ready for this?
Okay. Whoa.
No, I'm not ready.
Immunity is going to Sam. We've seen a little bit about how Sam, like, he wants revenge, like, strategically, but also like just at the challenges, like that reward, like he wants to like prove himself, like, challenge wise, which maybe I'm just like reading into too much, but I think Sam's gonna win the immunity. And I saw a little sneak peek for this next episode that was just released today. I think the Kyle strategist is like, it's real. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that means Kyle's going home this episode, but I don't know. There's been two people that have won 5 immunities, individual immunities, and have made it to the finale and have not won. Like, they got like second or third place. So I still think like Genevieve would be a bigger threat if they're both vulnerable. With that being said, I think Sam wins immunity, Rachel idol play, and gets out Genevieve. Final answer. I'm going all in.
I'd like to say that this is the 3rd week in a row Ellis has thought Genevieve was going.
I have to do
this week for sure.
I have to.
Ugh, I hope it's Kyle now. Like, especially.
I can at least see. I wouldn't be shocked if Sam won immunity, because we didn't really see him in the trailer. And yeah, he has been teasing that like he wants to like win, and like when they won the like sanctuary trip, he was like, "This is a big moment for me." So I can see that at least. I feel like happening.
None of the idol
rest
play,
I could also see happening, but
okay.
Specifically that part is the most conceivable, I guess.
Okay.
It's really interesting because it's like the 2 people, like, I think that have the idols are 2 people who I don't think are going to be targeted for a little bit. So I am like interested to see what happens, because I don't know if Rachel's gonna play it next episode, but
well,
I mean, if she does, but if she does, like, I think then I think that Genevieve is probably going to go, because Rachel is hardcore gunning for Genevieve and has been for a while. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of like new threats are gonna come out this episode, and people are gonna kind of like, I think someone's game is getting exposed, and I know Andy's is definitely going to get exposed at some point. No one gets showed talking this much shit for so long without some kind of payoff of them getting completely and utterly exposed. And I think that has to happen before Genevieve leaves. Because he's done her the dirtiest, and like I think like he's definitely been in like Rachel, Caroline, and Sue's ear. At least what we've been shown. So, and Sam to like some extent, but with Sam, I think his social game is really poor, because he just goes up to people and he's like, this is what we're doing. And then everyone's like, but actually, and he's like, no, we're doing this. And then it's like, everyone's like, no. And then no one does it. And he's like, what happened? Where was everyone? And it was like, no one agreed to this plan. What are you talking about? So, you know, I am interested to see what will happen.
Okay, so oh god, my headphones are dying. It's okay. We'll pull through it. To recap, I mean, we know I've finalized my predictions. I mean, I basically predicted like the whole episode with immunity and idle play and who's going home. But for you guys, for who's going home, what are the final answers?
I say Kyle.
Oh gosh.
Michael says Kyle. Okay.
I have a feeling it could be Kyle's time to go. Because the odds of him winning the next immunity challenge, I just don't know. So I'm also going to say Kyle.
Wow. Okay, well, we're just under 40 minutes. I feel like this could be a good time to wrap up the episode.
Very much agree. Thank you all so much for listening to our amazing thoughts and predictions, and let us know what you think too. we want to know. Like,
write down in the comments.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah, literally, get in there. You know, I'll force Ellis to respond to all of them because I'm busy doing other things.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. It was such a pleasure.
And thank you, Abby, for hopping on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. This was fun. As always.
When Sue gets out, I'll be sure to we can cry about it together. It'll be perfect.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching, fans. We'll see you sometime later this week, probably, or in a week.
Sometime.
Sometime.
All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.